We have got some massive new World PTR leaks that are going to affect combat and much more. And there's been some big news regarding the event and gear set storage. So let's talk about everything. So the PTR patch is now available for download. However, we're not 100% sure when it's going to go live. If I'm honest, I'm guessing it's going to go live this evening if they've put it for download right now. So maybe 5 PM UTC or first thing in the morning when you guys wake up in America. However, it is of course being immediately data mined, and there's some very interesting things on here. We pretty much have confirmation of a human ward type for the Varangian expedition. I have to confirm I'm a little bit disappointed upon seeing this. I would have thought that now would be the perfect time to actually just remove ward or do something a little bit more intelligent with it. But okay, there's a new type of ward gear. These are some sets that exist, obviously, that you can probably farm out. I'm actually going to guess that these are part of the quest line that you do for the new dungeon, the Empyrean Forge. But human ward obviously is only working in PvE. Obviously there were questions whether or not that would work in PvP, and obviously it does not. So some of you might be happy that you have a new set to farm. Some of us might be a little bit reluctant to do so, especially when you consider how many gear sets you're actually going to get. And you can see here the answer. The current plan is to have 3 gear sets in total. 2 free sets that you'll just get by hitting level 25, and then 1 set that you'll be able to get from the free season pass reward track. You are likely going to be able to buy more, but they've not actually announced how many you'll actually be able to buy right now, and they say both are subject to change. So it's basically going to be 3 gear slots without paying a lot of money, basically. Or well, not a lot of money, but you know what I mean, without paying. That sounds a little bit low when you consider the amount of sets that you might need. For example, there will now be 5 ward types. So straight off the bat, there's going to be 5 ward types. Forget the fact if you want to do like PvP or something. So the number they're giving us doesn't really align with the number that the players actually sort of need and want. But okay, you'll be able to buy more. Maybe the hardcore players will just buy more. Maybe you can have 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever you need. But interesting nonetheless. Now there have been some leaks here about the PvP meta and maybe the PvE meta. But let's just quickly talk about the news with the event. So the event has been changed. Not massively, but what's happened is you will now always get a craft mod. I did it twice before today and I never got a craft mod. And it'll be one of these 12 craft mods. I'm pretty sure I got Sliver of Consecrated Iron and there was no way I could sell it on my server this morning. There was no buy orders or anything like that. But a lot of these are actually worth something, especially here you can see like Squirming Vines. There's a few of these that are worth quite a lot of gold. So what I would recommend is that you get on as soon as you can, get your craft mods and try and sell them, because they're likely going to decrease in value now. Now every player is going to do this at least once a day. You can only get it once a day, I believe, anyway. So you're just going to go on, get it once a day, get your craft mod, either keep it or sell it, right? Pretty interesting, good fix, good little thing that could ruin the economy a little bit, because some of these are very high value, but you know, it is what it is. They've made it not useless anymore, I guess. They've re-enabled the ice pylon, by the way, for anybody wondering about that one. And they've added open world PvP kills in the leaderboard. Okay, cool, nice. Okay, ignore the fact that this is ugly right now. There is some important information here. Basically, some of the attribute perks are getting changed. So for example, the 300 strength perk which was grit, has been removed from strength, and I think it's actually been put onto con. What's actually going to happen at 300 strength is that you're going to get a base increase to your damage when you do heavy attack. And if I scroll down to 300 con, you can see that you now get grit. Basically, Constitution is getting back on this meta, right? There's all kinds of calculations and stuff being done. Somebody here is trying to show that the total mitigation is being lowered, so I think this is what it is currently live. I'm not 100% sure how they did all this calculation or whatever. I'm just looking at this percentage here, but they can see that the mitigation is going much lower. This looks like it's going to have a massive impact on PvP and PvE, because there are quite a few changes that are a little bit hard to explain here. But the fortify is being completely changed. Like, you're going to get so little fortify on light armor and much more on heavy armor. That's going to completely change the meta. There's little things like the Warhammer stun is being nerfed. It looks like actually all CCs are just getting nerfed across the board. The damage on the Gravwell from the Great Axe is also being completely nerfed. The Hatchet Defy Death, I don't think you're going to be immortal anymore, and it's actually going to be reduced in duration, because I think it looks like it might just turn into a heal or something. But the cooldown is going to get decreased, which, okay, makes sense. By the way, the new title for everybody who participated in the PTR war that wasn't really a war, that's actually going to be called Whelp. A nice little reference. I'm okay with that. That's quite funny. We also have this, which basically gives us our first real insight into what's actually going to be coming on these reward tracks. Now, I'm guessing the legendary versions of these are the ones that you'll see on the premium, and the purple ones are the ones you'll see in the normal one. So in the normal ones, you might get stuff like food. Here you might see some jewelry. The Inferno weapons, you can see here, one guaranteed to be legendary. Obviously, it's going to be RNG. You don't know what the perks are going to be necessarily, but you can see you're going to get some legendary gear as well as just random looted, like a random RNG stuff. And then the legendary versions are pretty much just the same. I'm guessing it's just going to be like you get the reward twice. When we saw this icon, we were a little bit worried that this was perhaps relating to trophies because it's got literally a trophy on it, but it actually just looks like the season's champion. I think this is the one that you get at the end. You're going to get some gold, a weapon and an armor piece, right? And the tile. I think that's probably the like 100th rank or something like that. So some worries are a little bit assuaged. Is that a word? I think so. I'm not sure what flame cores are. Some kind of new material relating to this whole PTR, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. Somebody said, and I'm having a little bit of trouble verifying this, that there's going to be like Angry Earth Ward in this stuff, and basically it's going to roll one attribute and one perk, and the other two are going to be set. I don't know if that's true, but you know, we'll have to wait and see when this actually comes out. Right now we're just working off like effectively data mine stuff. So there's all kinds of unanswered questions here. What impact is this really going to have on the meta? Well, I think the meta is really going to change. It looks like Fortify and gems and stuff like that being nerfed means that the 5-con PvE M10 runners, they might have a little bit more difficulty now. Not being one of those, I really don't know the full impact of that. For PvP, it definitely looks like light armor is getting the short end of the stick here. Light armor is being strongly nerfed and heavy is being buffed. I've not actually seen the change to resilience. I was led to believe that resilience would also scale with armor. That doesn't necessarily seem to be in this PTR, or at least it's not being data mined right now. Constitution looks like it might be favored a little bit more because of that grit as well. All I'm saying really, and all I can say, because I'm not a competitive player, is that the meta is going to very drastically change. The Warhammer looks a little bit sad now because its main job of CCing has been nerfed a little bit. Like I think all CCs are getting nerfed, but Shockwave in particular looks like it's getting proper nerfed. I didn't actually see anything about the Greatsword, but I'm going to guess that it's getting nerfed considering it was getting called out. Yes, the PvP meta is also going to be drastically different. Honestly, if you want meta up-to-date news, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to be able to tell you what the best builds are going into this patch. I would just keep an eye out on other YouTubers and stuff like that. However, I will keep an eye out on the season pass rewards, how we're going to get them and that kind of stuff, what's inside them, and any kind of new gear that you can maybe farm or anything like that. The new ward type, for example, definitely an interesting decision by AGS. To have human ward feels really, really weird, but that's the choice they've gone with. Anyway, I suspect that this PTR is actually going to be going live today. It's now just a case of when do they actually go ahead and do that. Good changes to the event though, really happy to see that. The amount of gear set storage, a little bit questionable. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member is truly the best way. Or you can come and give me a follow over on Twitch. I am streaming a lot more recently. Have a most beautiful day, like and subscribe. Goodbye.